Hello and welcome to Galaxy Advisors. The purpose of this video is to explain the graphical user interface or GUI controls for Condor 3. Condor 3 has three GUI controls. First, a graph toolbar. Second, a node and edge menus. And third, keypad gestures. The important thing to know is that these GUI controls are activated in the view menu for our static or dynamic visualizations. Here we're looking at Condor 3 with a data set selected. And at the very top, you're going to find the graph toolbar, which gives you the ability to relay out, take a snapshot, show arrows, select and move an entire graph, pick a single node or edge, search text and highlight nodes and edges, and advance color nodes with a list. On the side with the blue highlighted are the node and edge, color, shape, and label pick menus. In the green area, that's where your graph or map is visually displayed. And then the third is the keypad gestures, which enables you to zoom in and out, right-click on a single node or edge to display details, label a node, and you can actually hover your cursor over a node to display info in the lower right-hand corner of the window. So at a glance, these are the three main GUI controls that are activated when you view a static or a dynamic visualization. So let's go through each one of these one at a time in a little bit more detail. The graph toolbar, again highlighted in red here, which appears at the top of any view menu, gives you the ability to click on an icon to activate or toggle on and off. So the graph toolbar enables users to to relay out or refresh or redraw a graph, basically nudges those nodes a little bit, and four of its things are just on top of one another. You can just click this to have a slight layout or redraw of the graph. The camera icon enables you to take a snapshot and send it to the clipboard. The arrow key enabled to show or hide directed edge arrows. You might say the rectangle with that little arrow cross in the middle enable you to select and move the whole graph. The hand with the little index finger pointing up is a pick or single node or edge and reposition it. So it gives you the ability here to move the entire graph, or with the hand to pick a single node and to reposition it. The magnifying glass or the search tool will highlight nodes based upon a keyword or phrase using Boolean logic. The advanced option enables users to selectively color nodes using a node list. Then finally, the hand I've indicated here gives you the ability to zoom in and out with keypad gestures by right-clicking to display nodes and edge information. An example here, the search tool will highlight nodes with links based on a keyword or phrase using Boolean logic. In this, I was using the nrun small data, selecting the name Keen and Shelk, and it tells you that here's where the Keen and Shelk appeared in this particular part of the graph. If I use Keen or gives you a much wider, again using the Boolean logic of where those terms appear in the edges. Here's a sample visualization of web, Wikipedia, and Twitter datasets based on a query of the Sochi 2014 on February 19, 2014, when I was doing a number of data searchings regarding the Winter Olympics in Sochi, Russia. Here again at the top is a listing of the visualizations that I've done. You can have any number of visualizations displayed, and if you happen to have more up there, you'll see the upper left corner, the left arrow gives you to show more, so it's a slider view of your data sets. Along the left hand side, I've indicated here the Sochi 2014 web, what I did at the very top with a custom search engine, a web search using Ajax, Twitter San Francisco, Twitter Vancouver, Sochi of Wikipedia, and so on. And then I actually merged all the data sets into one unified visualization. So along the left is a list of the open data sets. The green check there represents the active data sets, and you can switch to another data set by simply clicking on it. So you can click on a data set or go to the top and retrieve a previous visualization or the data set graphs. In the upper right hand corner, you can color the nodes by the original data set. Will display a legend, which I've indicated here in the red, and you can see the different searches that I did originally, and they're color coded accordingly. For the node and edge pick menus, you can change the color, shape, and label menus and sub-menus. I've indicated these here in the blue box, which will show up in your visualization. I've made an expanded view of the node and edge color picker, so you have really the entire spectrum to color your node and edges in it. You can have various options to actually label the legend options. Shape display options of a circle, rectangular, triangle, star, or cross. You can size the fields by data types. And again, the node size, you can actually have two adjusters to make them minimum smaller or the maximum, so you can have have both full control over the size of those nodes as well. The main thing is that these menus depends on your data type. Will change, and again, these menus affect the entire graph. Node and edge label options plus a node collapse option views here. So in red on the right, where it says label node by, I've expanded that here so you can see a long list of labeling options that you have. The edge label options, again, will depend upon what data type you have and any type of calculations you've made, along with the node collapse options highlighted in the green box here. Keypad gestures, again, that's another great way to navigate around your visualization with quite ease and speed. The two-finger swipe up to zoom in on a graph, the two-finger swipe down to zoom out on a graph, picking the rectangular with the cross arrows inside, one finger tap and hold of a node to move the entire graph. You can right click on a single node to label it, change its color, show node details, show actually a contribution index over time, or show activity and sentiment over time if you're using a dynamic visualization. You can right click on a single edge to show an edge details, which again depends upon the data type. And you can hover your cursor over a node to display node details in the lower right window. So let's take a few samples of these keypad gestures. Two-finger swipe up. Here on the left, you might have you zoomed out. You look at an entire graph. Here, then I'm going to zoom in with a two-finger swipe up. Again, to swipe out again. Before on the left, here's what it looked like. And then if I did a two-finger swipe down, you can zoom out to see the entire graph. Again, to zoom in and zoom out makes it very easy to manipulate zooming in and around your graph visualization. A one-finger tap and hold on the rectangular with the arrow across in it. Before that, you can then actually just move the entire graph very easily, left or right, up or down, sideways, any direction that you would like to move the graph. Right-clicking on a single node or edge really gives you a number of options to display and label options. And in this example, I have for email. So here I have Paul Kaufman. I'm going to right-click on that node. It's going to show you the menu, the label node and I expanded it out. You can see the long list of various ways to label. A common one, just label it by the name. I can change the color of that node. I can show node details. I can actually show a contribution index over time and show activity and sentiment over time if it's been calculated. So here on the right, I'm going to show you a single edge. I'm going to right click on that, and it's going to look at that particular email from Paul Kaufman to Jeff. And again, the node and edge display options are based upon the dataset properties. The options are going to change with the dataset type of email, web, Twitter, Facebook, etc. and if any metrics have been computed, such as sentiment and influence. But again, you have them all available with a single click on your graph. Right-clicking on a single node to show a contribution index over time or activity over time. Here's an example of that. So in this case, I did calculate this contribution index, and I did calculate sentiment prior to this. But if you do that, you can show these graphs as well. And on the right side, I'm showing the activity and sentiment over time for that particular node. Last, you can hover your cursor over a node to display details in the lower right window. Again, it's a very quick way to say, especially if you don't have the labels in there in a very dense graph, you can move your cursor around to find out, well, who is this node, and a number of their details that are described here are displayed in the lower right hand corner. A real tip and a kind of really a precision control, if you do a dynamic view, the keypad right and left arrow keys enables you to move one frame at a time. So use the date slider I have on the left hand side here, kind of a zoomed out view of Condor and a dynamic visualization, and I have highlighted here in the red box the date slider, and I put a little red box around it, rectangle, to showing the date slider. Now if you click on that date slider, it actually activates the left and right arrow key, so you can actually move it one frame at a time. That gives you very precise control over the dynamic view. And with that, these are the 3 GUI controls for Condor 3 that help you to navigate, zoom in and zoom in and around, label, display, and annotate your graph. We hope you enjoy the use of these 3 graphic user controls of the toolbar, the pick menus, and the hand gestures in your use of Condor 3.